Material be placed in the record so as to preserve time and yield back.
Without objection. Thank you very much, Congressman Issa. I now ask unanimous consent to leave the record open to members may submit their opening remarks and questions for the record, and we will leave the record open for that. At this time, I'd like to ask our witness to please stand. We swear in all of our witnesses. Do you agree to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? If so, answer in the affirmative. Let the record reflect that he answered in the affirmative. You may be seated. I'm sorry. We have the lights here. I'm sorry. And that, of course, we start out, it's on green, and then it goes to yellow, and then it's red. So when it gets on yellow, you can start trying to wrap up, and which will allow all the members an opportunity to raise questions. And maybe something that you didn't say, you get a chance to say it during the questioning period. Okay? You may begin.
Better? Sorry. Let me start over.
You'll never be misquoted until you turn it on.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Issa, members of the committee, thank you for the invitation to appear before you today. I appreciate the opportunity to describe for the committee the business plan we are executing in order to put AIG's troubles behind it, to repay the monies that we owe the American taxpayer, and to secure an outcome that helps to put the American economy back on track. We are working hard to determine the destiny of the component parts of AIG. Our plan contemplates that AIG's best businesses will establish separate identities from the parent holding company. The parent company will become smaller. The financial products unit will cease to exist. How long the plan will ultimately take will very much depend on how quickly and how strongly the global economy recovers. But let me be clear. Our plan is explicitly designed to avoid having to divest AIG assets at fire sale prices. Just the opposite is true. We intend for taxpayers to realize the fullest possible value from every asset disposition, and we have already made substantial progress in this restructuring. We have reduced, but not yet eliminated, the systemic risk that AIG presents to the global financial system. We are selling assets where possible, despite adverse conditions in global financial markets. We are stabilizing AIG's liquidity so that we do not need support beyond those amounts already authorized by the government, although, as I've said, the economy will be a factor in this. And we are restructuring some businesses for public offerings. We are restructuring other businesses for later disposition or to be wound down so that future losses can be mitigated or avoided. Across these four areas, we have in recent weeks achieved a number of important milestones. We are transferring two major foreign life insurance companies, Alico and AIA, into special purpose vehicles in exchange for a substantial reduction in AIG's debt to the Federal Reserve. We expect to complete the contractual arrangements for these transfers in the near future. We are also transferring the global property and casualty insurance franchise, known as AIU Holdings, into an SPV, a special purpose vehicle. This will secure the value of that very substantial business in preparation for the potential sale of a minority stake, which ultimately may include a public offering of shares, again depending upon market conditions. And we continue to make significant progress in winding down AIG Financial Products. We have reduced the FP risk positions from 44,000 to 27,000, and we've reduced the notional exposure from a peak of approximately $2.7 trillion to just under $1.5 trillion today. We continue to weigh every action with several criteria in mind. Will it reduce systemic risk? Is it the best use of federal assistance? Will it enhance our ability to pay back the government? Does it keep our insurance businesses strong and well capitalized? And does it protect our policyholders? We are working hard to improve governance at the company. AIG is an incredibly complex entity with over 4,000 legal entities, cross-ownership, and a myriad of special purpose structures. our restructuring plan must make AIG less complicated, less risky, and more transparent. The infusion of government capital to AIG brought with it a substantial new set of relationships with the American taxpayer as AIG's largest single shareholder, with the taxpayers' representatives here in Congress, with the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury, and more recently with the trustees also appearing today. These relationships are new and in many ways unprecedented. We work closely with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the U.S. Treasury. Representatives of the Fed and Treasury and their advisors are engaged with various AIG offices every day. We view them as our partners. We also consult closely with the trustees, and we appreciate the time they have devoted to understanding our restructuring plan and other critical issues. Their mature business judgment is a major asset. I've led AIG now for 8 months, almost 8 months, and I want to assure you that the people at AIG today are working as hard as we can to serve our policyholders, our customers, and taxpayers. We need your help as well. It's critical to remember that we are partners. When we at AIG make mistakes, we expect to be criticized. But rampant, unwarranted criticism of AIG serves only to diminish the value of our businesses around the world, the businesses we are attempting to sell to repay the American taxpayer. We continue to welcome a frank and open dialogue with Congress so that you can be in a position to support our efforts. This support is essential and will benefit AIG's stakeholders, the American taxpayer most of all. We cannot control the market conditions that will partly determine the timing of AIG's restructuring, but we are confident that our approach is right and that if we do this together, we can demonstrate to the world that responsible government and capitalism still strive in the United States. Mr. Chairman, thank you again for the opportunity to appear before you today, and I'm happy to answer questions that you or the committee might have.
Thank you very much for your testimony.